Story 1. Working in the plastics manufacturing industry for 7 years. I'm telling you straight up, there is no such thing as safe plastic. This is called non-toxic because it won't kill you tomorrow. The effects and side effects of the chemicals involved will slowly erode your health over time. Story 2. During the COVID era, like many, I suffered from depression. I lost my longtime relationship to it, along with some friends. I'm better now, so it definitely didn't kill me, but I sometimes think about what would have happened with my ex if I could have avoided falling into depression like I did. We are good friends now, but sometimes it hurts to see her smile and know that she could have been much closer to me. Story 3. Sepsis survived but left with muscle weakness, brain issues, and susceptibility to more infection. But mentally, I'm very strong, just physically weak. Story 4. My brother-in-law killed my sister and nephew. I truly almost didn't survive. I feel weaker for having lived through it. I've raised my children in an absolute state of fear, and it was not good. Story 5. Stage for brain cancer that was undiagnosed when it came close to stopping my heart. It nearly killed me. It will kill me, but it has not killed me yet. It also kind of destroys any and all hopes of achieving long-term dreams and goals. The very concept of a 5-year plan went out the window when I learned what brought me down and what its average survival time is. Story 6. Giving my parents 10,000 euros I could have used at 18 to run away because they wanted to open a new store and didn't listen to me that they are scammers and they will rob us blind. Forgiving my best friends for all the bullying in high school and getting over the fact that they let far too much go instead of defending me. Losing my girlfriend last year and becoming an over-controlling mess instead of being myself. I became cold and distant while trying to love her as much as I could. Getting robbed 3 times at gunpoint and dealing with the aftermath. I just feel so defeated at this point and don't want to deal with anything, but I'm only 30. Story 7. Living with someone I considered abusive. I hate using this word, but the person I liked at the very least was dismissive and harsh. I wanted to move out. My dad said, "Better the devil you know than the one you do not know." I spent much time sleeping at other people's houses and eating out because I did not want to be home when she was home. I did not feel comfortable keeping my food in the fridge. Looking back, I can see everything I did wrong to her, but I do not think it justifies her cruelty. I suppose she outmatched me. Story 8. Epstein-Barr virus, also known as mono. My life bifurcated at that point. Life before mono and life after mono. It sucked the energy right out of me and never gave it back. There are days when I'm so tired I want to puke, and days when I'm less tired, but there are no days that I feel as full of energy as the days before mono. Truly crippling. Story 9. A lot of things. The depression and mental breakdown I had during the brunt of the pandemic. I tried to end my own life in July of 2020. My dad's psychological abuse from 2019 onward. A cold turned into a chest infection that caused me to have my first asthma attack in over a decade. If I didn't get medical attention for that, I could have choked on my own fluids and died. Story 10. Every traumatic thing that happens in our lives that doesn't kill us won't make us any stronger. It just gives you trauma and experience. You are not strong because you survived trauma. You survive trauma because you are strong. The idea that that which does not kill us makes us stronger is nonsense fed to us by a society too callous to care about suffering. Forget that. Story 11. 10 years in an abusive marriage. A 20-foot fall into granite, landing on my face and head, permanently damaging my spine while I was in middle school. 3 years of carbon monoxide poisoning from birth, causing me to be sick, bleed from the nose, and have ear infections constantly until I was about 15. Spending my entire life starting at 15 working at various jobs for as many hours as I could, never developing a taste for life or going to college or learning what I ever wanted to do or to be. Story 12. My 7-year-old business collapsed in May 2023. My depression healed around December, and I started a new venture in February 2024. Even though I have reached a break-even point in November 2024, I have lost all the fire, love, and passion that earlier defined my personality. I was also extremely humanitarian and used to aid financially and physically to various organizations. All of it seems to be gone now. Story 13. COVID. I have gotten it 4 times despite being vaccinated and boosted, and each time it takes a little of me. This last time set my autoimmune system on fire. It has been 6 months and I am still having issues. Story 14. Nearly 15 years of drug addiction. 2 heart surgeries. Being in a relationship with someone who had untreated borderline personality disorder. This one messed me up emotionally beyond belief. Still dealing with this a bit even after 5 years. I haven't been in a relationship or even built any kind of emotional connection since. Story 15. Being the butt of the joke for my whole family most of the time definitely did not toughen me up. All it gave me was low self-esteem and anger problems. Story 16. Drugs. I was on the verge of an overdose back in 2010, the night before Thanksgiving. Obviously, I pulled through and went to my family Thanksgiving but didn't visit with anyone because I was sleeping it off. I almost ruined the holidays for my entire family forever. I've been clean since 2011. Story 17. Pneumonia. I've had it a handful of times, and supposedly it damages your lungs permanently each time. I'll never forget the crackling you can feel in your whole chest. I don't smoke. I tried vaping a little bit, but it gave me the same crackling feeling after a short while, so I gave that up. I don't really smoke anything other than campfire smoke when I sit in the wrong spot. Story 18. A car accident that broke my wrist and severed my meniscus. The only thing it did for me is change what hand I wipe my ass with and stick me with an office job. I did finally watch The Sopranos, though, so that's a plus. Story 19. I've always thought that this saying is one of the most foolish things I've heard. There are many physical and emotional traumas from which you may never fully recover. You may survive them, but you will not be stronger because of them. Story 20. My botched hernia surgery from 4 years ago really messed me up. I lost 3 liters of blood due to internal bleeding after the surgery while I was home. I nearly died. My body has never been the same since. Story 21. Brain aneurysm. It was an accidental find due to a magnetic resonance imaging scan with contrast for migraines. 2 weeks later, brain surgery followed. This was followed by a year of intermittent blindness, uncontrollable anxiety, and facial numbness. Improved since then, there are no more migraines but far from normal. Story 22. My siblings are abusing my dementia-addled mother mentally, emotionally, and financially, and all my relatives are siding with them. I lost all family except one brother in the last year. Story 23. Betrayal from someone close. Neglectful parents and poor upbringing. Working since early teens. Chronic insomnia. Severe depression. Really bad work experience with a fabricated case and being fired. Still have paranoia, and it has been years. Suicide attempt. Story 24. Any type of abuse does not make people stronger. I made myself stronger. I have myself to thank for that, not my abuser. Story 25. Chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. It might as well have killed me, though. It destroyed my hopes, my dreams, my relationships, and the rest of my health. Story 26. Of all things, I was listening to a sermon at church. The pastor said, "It is not the injury that makes you stronger. It is the healing. For example, slice your hand open, it is not stronger. But when it heals and creates a scar, that scar is stronger than the healthy skin around it." My mind was blown. So, if you have trauma you have not healed from, you still need to heal in order to feel stronger. Story 27. Aconization is a full anesthetic surgery to take a piece out of my cervix. Luckily, they didn't find any cancer, but I need to be monitored until I finally have a pap smear with number 2 or 3 score. Even after the surgery, I keep having abnormal cells due to a chronic human papillomavirus infection. The surgery went well, but the aftermath was rough. No mental guidance, developed a sore and strained hip due to the surgery position, financial stress, depression symptoms, and a sad and dull sex life for a long time. I fixed the hip with physical therapy and regular gym visits, but the rest has taken me a long time to get sorted. I still have the risk of getting cancer at some point due to that chronic human papillomavirus. Great stuff. Story 28. Breaking my ankle this year. I've recovered a good deal, but it still hurts to walk on sometimes, and I've lost like 10% mobility in a certain direction. Hopefully getting the hardware out later, giving me more back. But we'll see. This and the forced social isolation of not being able to freely leave my home for more than 4 months. It did not leave me stronger. It left me worse off in most ways. Story 29. Car accident caused nerve damage, which made my right leg weak and gave me chronic pain in my right arm and face. Then I got COVID-19 and that attacked the damaged nerves, and my leg is even weaker now. So no, it did not make me stronger. It did the literal opposite. Story 30. Got T-boned on my motorcycle. Life-flighted, intensive care unit, a lot of surgeries in the last 10 or 11 years. Lots of replaced joints with artificial ones and other surgeries. Definitely didn't kill me. Only the bolts and screws have made me stronger, haha. Story 31. I was on my bike about to get boba when a car in a traffic stop went around 80 miles over the sidewalk, nearly hitting me, and then crashed near a ditch. It was my first time calling 911. Story 32. Having a seizure that led to falling down a full flight of stairs. I had a concussion and needed massive reconstructive shoulder surgery. It's been 7 years, and this shoulder will never be quite right. The damage done in the fall was too extensive to restore to 100%. Story 33. Not taking proper care of my body. I thought I could get away with it because I was young. My 30s have taught me otherwise. Eat right and exercise, guys. Trust me. Story 34. I was doing preacher curls a few months back, and something went pop in my forearm. I wasn't able to lift anything properly with my left arm for a while, so I had to stop training. I've only just got back to the gym last week. I don't think I'm 100% recovered, but I'm getting bored of not training. Shockingly, it turns out this injury did not make me stronger. Story 35. Kidney stones. I thought it was going to kill me before I went to the emergency room and figured out what it was. I passed the stone, being fearful every day of that pain again. Story 36. Spraining my ankle when I was 18 didn't kill me, but it did basically make me bedridden for a week. Now, if I sit and don't move my ankle for about 5 minutes, it gets stiff and sends shooting pains when I do move it or put weight on it. Story 37. Being strapped down, head clamped, jaw propped open at the dentist when I was small. I have extra long jaw nerves and an extremely acute sensitivity to pain and all the rest of the senses. They drilled into live teeth, and my only choice to escape was to try and push the drill away with my tongue. The drill always won. It took me 60 years to find a pain-free dentist. I sometimes still cry when walking there for a checkup. Story 38. Severe malnutrition. I recovered over a year ago, but my immune system is still weak. I struggle to gain or lose weight, always feel tired, and have a bad stomach. I nearly died as well. Story 39. Watching that Mysterious Moments caught on camera video 8 years ago. It showed paranormal activity along with some eerie music in the background. 7-year-old me was traumatized. Story 40. Falling between 2 large dogs fighting and getting mauled in the face and hand while at work. Not good. Also didn't grow Wolverine claws or gain werewolf powers. Really unfortunate, man. Story 41. My car accident. The thing is, it probably should have killed me. It was a head-on collision with a tree at 75 to 80 miles per hour after hydroplaning and swerving off the road. One wrong move and my car could have flipped. One wrong thing in my car and I could have flown through the windshield and died. I'm here, alive, with no major injuries. I wasn't even bleeding at all when I exited the vehicle myself. This experience taught me a few major lessons on safe driving, but it did not make me stronger. In fact, I now struggle with even more anxiety, more trauma, and now a thick layer of post-traumatic stress disorder on top of it all. Story 42. Losing parents young, then my youngest brother, then my dogs. I'm hypervigilant and unable to hold relationships. Doomed to a solitary life because I cannot handle it anymore. Story 43. My experience with my mentally abusive narcissistic mother and this physically abusive serial cheating father, who literally cheated on my stepmom after cheating on my mom, and then the cycle continues to his new women. It didn't kill me because I know I have my own life to build, and they have their own. I did not accept their abuses as my own fate. However, it doesn't make me stronger because somehow I still attract these kinds of people for some reason. And I don't know how I can truly avoid them no matter how many changes I made to my choices and personality. Story 44. Losing my husband unexpectedly and tragically at just 32 years old. It really messed me up, and I don't think I'll ever be the same again. As a matter of fact, I'm certain that killing me would have been much easier than this heartache I endure each day. Story 45. COVID in general. I've always been one of those people that gets a cold or flu, hits me like a ton of bricks for a maximum of 2 to 3 days, and then it's like I was never sick. When I got COVID-19, it was horrible, the worst I've ever felt. At one point, it took me probably 4 to 5 minutes to get down the stairs from the second story, and I had to do it on my butt, one step at a time. I felt like I ran a marathon when I got to the bottom, and my entire body ached like I had been hit and dragged by a truck. Now, when I get a cold, it lingers for weeks. A flu, I'm not even getting out of bed for at least 2 to 3 days, and then at least another few days before I'll even go out of the house. Story 46. Seeing the aftermath of a flood, seeing elderly people dying in their own homes, families being displaced, and whole regions effectively dying while being a volunteer. Horrible stuff. Story 47. I worked in a factory for 7 weeks. It affected me, I think, but I had poor stacking etiquette and it injured my back. 7 years later, I still have to bend backward across a table to get that popping relief.